हम्म, नमस्कार दोस्तों। बचपन एक्सप्रेस पर ये ज्ञान की पाठशाला जिसे शुरू किया था कुछ समय पहले, कारण एक ही है कि आप सभी को कुछ स्किल दे पाए। आज की भागती दौड़ती दुनिया में टिकता वही है जिसके पास हुनर होता है, और हुनर आपको कड़ी मेहनत के बाद मिलता है। कोई भी हुनर आप देखें, भारत की पुरानी व्यवस्था में अगर हम नजर दौड़ाएं तो हमें लगेगा कि एक व्यक्ति को अपने परिवार से, समाज से ज्ञान प्राप्ति में काफी समय लगता था, और कोई भी ज्ञान पुस्त दर पुस्त उसके पास आता था। इसी तरीके से आज के समय अगर आपको ज्ञान हासिल करना है, लेना है, तो आपको समय बिताना पड़ेगा, समय देना पड़ेगा। The idea of today's class is about filmmaking. As we all know that India is a country where we celebrate every Friday. Every Friday, a hero is born, and every Friday, fate of many people are decided. If we go by the quantity of films per year, then India is undoubtedly number one. But if you go by the quality of the films that we see and watch every year, then unfortunately, India is way behind. India is way behind even the countries like Iran. It's a very small country. But directors like Majid Majidi, and there are many other directors who are producing or produced films which are internationally known and won several prizes in reputed international film festivals. So why is it that India is, despite the fact that we started our journey way back, 1896, let me remind you the year when Lumiere brothers started showing moving images, 1896. It was a simple event, but very significant if we go by the impact of films on society. When Lumiere brothers came here in 1896 and screened their films, nobody was, even Lumiere brothers, I hope, they were not, aware about the kind of impact it would generate on Indian minds. One amongst them was Dada Sahab Phalke, who, when saw moving images, who was in the business of photography, printing, but was interested in filmmaking as well. And when he saw the moving images. He was mesmerized by the sheer movement of living beings. When people saw that the train is coming towards them, they started screaming, they started running, because they never ever saw that kind of visual in their life. So the larger than life visuals recorded by Lumiere brothers created sensation in India, and it was the time when people, a very few people, started experimenting with the filmmaking in India. Dada Sahab Phalke, Govind Rao Dhodiraj Phalke, popularly known as Dada Sahab Phalke, started dreaming that he'll make film, completely Indian film. And that Indian dream became reality when he first produced Raja Harishchandra in 1913. While the while he was, busy in his production, first production, several occasions he felt like the task is impossible. लेकिन उन्होंने हार नहीं मानी. He did not give up. And he was supported by his wife, who took care of the crew members and helped Dada Sahab Phalke in editing also. The Indian dream of filmmaking started in 1913 until 1931, when the first talkie Alamara was made. The silent era was dominated by mythology, historical characters, and unfortunately, we do not have most of them. Most of the pictures are lost, and we do not have them. Just a few of them are available for all of us. So in a way, we were not able to save our history, visual history, film history. But the idea of filmmaking and idea of film as a medium of communication, which started in 1913, took shape 1931. It was combined by audio, and this visual medium became audio visual. And India and Indians, they themselves started making film. We can simply divide the development of cinema in India in different categories. First category is the silent era, where mainly mythology dominated and Indian characters, historical characters, and popular characters dominated the silent era filmmaking. After that came the era of talkie from 1931 to 1947. I'll keep it to 1950. In 1947, we got independence, and 1950 till 1950, we enjoyed, kind of cinema which was not only showing us the mythological characters, but social issues also started getting space in cinema. 1936, Achut Kanya, and after that, many films which not only won accolades from the filmmakers, but from film experts also. And by the time we got independence, the cinema shifted to the romanticism and an era of romance, which we call it the arrival of Raj Kapoor, Rajesh Khanna, and it went till 1970, 1975. From 1950 to 1975, there was a mix of romanticism, realism, and film noir. The impact of Italian neorealism was visible on Indian filmmakers. And there was another great film movement which happened in America and very few people noticed it. And that movement was film noir. Suddenly the cinema started seeing different characters, protagonists who were not who were basically different from the earlier ones. Protagonists who were not following the established social rules, rather violating it quite often. And the female protagonist and female actress, they also were, known as femme fatale, जिसे हम हिंदी में खूबसूरत महिलाओं के नाम से जानते हैं. खूबसूरत महिलाएं, femme fatale, जो हर उस काम को करने के लिए तैयार थी जिसे समाज स्वीकार नहीं करता. So in a way, film noir is a very significant movement, and Italian neo-realism is also a very important one. But I'm not here today to discuss the film theories. I'm just giving you a little information about the development of cinema in India and world, and how it basically became a dominating force. And what you need, suppose you are willing to work in this industry and you want to go for, say, something which is related with filmmaking. Filmmaking now is a very diverse field, and filmmaking requires not only theoretical concepts, knowledge, but also technical skills. In India, we are very fortunate that journalism and mass communication education, which is started 100 years back, film is very much part of mass communication and journalism education. But unfortunately, films are not getting as much space as they deserve in mass communication and journalism education. There are a few universities like Jadavpur University, Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Central University, Lucknow, Film and Television Institute of India, Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute, Xavier Institute, Mumbai, NID. There are other institutions which are basically focusing on the development of film as a discipline, as a subject. And we have recently heard that Uttar Pradesh is developing film city. This announcement will definitely help the institutions in UP to think and provide more space to film as a subject. Simply one paper or two paper in mass communication and journalism is not good enough to develop film industry in UP. Mumbai is completely different. Like when we say film, Mumbai comes in our mind. So we cannot replace Mumbai, but we can think about providing better infrastructure to the filmmakers who are dreaming of making films in Uttar Pradesh. How to start it? Can we simply by announcing that we'll build a film industry here, we'll be able to establish it? No, I don't think. I don't think this is possible. Though the announcement has positive impact, but for any positive event or any positive initiative, you need infrastructure facilities. And unfortunately, in UP, we hardly have infrastructure facility. Recently, National Institute of Drama, they started their Varanasi campus, National School of Drama. NSD started their Varanasi campus, where they are focusing on traditional art form, traditional subject. But in Uttar Pradesh, there is hardly any institution which is focusing on film as a core area of understanding, barring a few cases in Ambedkar University where the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism is continuously involved in promoting film as a discipline, and we have recently decided also that we'll start MA in Film and Theatre Studies. So for film to flourish in UP, we need infrastructure support. And for that, we need Film and Television Institute of India to open its regional center in UP. Lucknow is the best place, and Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University is the best suited university where we can start Film and Television Institute of India's regional center. Lucknow is well connected, capital city, good infrastructure, and already have a vibrant social civil society. And we have Bharatiya Hindu Nat Academy here in Lucknow. What what we need for a film culture? We need artists, we need technicians, we need infrastructure facility, and for promoting film in Uttar Pradesh, we can start a few centers where film is the dominant subject, or film is supported by the university administration. Then we can think of developing film industry in UP. By merely saying that we'll start it, we cannot. And for any film, a film industry, we need artists. From where we'll get artists? And if we are planning to get artists from Mumbai, then there is no need of industry in UP. We are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. And Atmanirbhar for Atmanirbhar Uttar Pradesh, we must think about supporting our artists, our students who are willing to work in different film areas. What career they have, whether the career is stable or not, whether they'll get good enough money to survive in the film industry. These are a few questions which need to be answered by the government. So what we need is a logical way of establishing film industry in India, and particularly in Uttar Pradesh. If we look at the way films and filmmaking changed in India, then we'll find that Film and Television Institute of India has a clear impact on the way we were making films. And if we open a center here in Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, that will again help the young filmmakers to understand this art form. And you have to just wait for another 5 to 10 years, and you'll see the kind of impact it will have on the production quality. The production quality will improve. The films that we are making lacks quality input in terms of good cinematographer, good editor, good VFX artist, good directors, good actors. So if you want to make a film culture here in Uttar Pradesh, as an administrator, if I am administrator, then I'll definitely look for the elements that will make the film industry viable in Uttar Pradesh. And for making a film industry here in Uttar Pradesh, we should focus on first starting an institution in Uttar Pradesh, which is a must, which is required. We know that filmmaking is from idea to screen has three very important elements. One is pre-production, production, and post-production. In pre-production, the idea that you have, and anybody can have idea, any idea. Suppose I got an idea that I want to make a web series. Now we know that these days web series are getting a lot of importance, and we have over the top platforms also which will give space to our idea. But how to develop that idea? For that, you need an expert who can develop your idea into a feasible script. Do we have teachers? Do we have script writers who are well versed with visual design? Do we have people who can guide us that how to develop it, how to market it? So the system is not in place. And until and unless we have a system, we cannot establish film industry in India. Mumbai film industry is, if you look at, you know, the script writers, actors, technicians, you'll find that most of them are from where? They are from Uttar Pradesh. Hindi is our mother tongue. And Hindi film industry is thriving in Maharashtra, where Marathi is mother tongue. So why are we not able to generate an impact on Hindi film industry? Because we do not have good institutions of filmmaking. That's the point number one. We need good institution. Second, we need good teachers who are well versed with the film theories and as well as the practical aspect of filmmaking. Third is infrastructure facility. If I want to shoot a film in Uttar Pradesh, I know that Uttar Pradesh government is giving fund, but what about the startups? What about the newcomers? Do we have any support for students? If a student is willing to make a web series and he is not able to find budget for it, do we have any support for the student? The moment we'll come up with the different announcement for students that the student will be provided with 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 10 lakh rupees for their ideas, or events like where we can promote script writing, where we can generate fund for the newcomers, that will help grow the film movement in Uttar Pradesh. And for that, we need government support. Who will do that? Basically, government will do it. Or some private person who is basically involved or into this profession, he can help, he or she can help. But mainly this is government's job. Now let us again come back to the film as a medium of communication. We all know that film is a by-sense medium. By-sense simply means that we are involving two senses, audio and visual. So hearing and visual sense. And to narrate a story, we need to know that how a story is narrated visually. So in visual, you know, grammar, the visual script has three very important elements, and we call it three constants of filmmaking. So any film is basically the visualization of the script writer, and it starts with a shot. When we combine several shots, we create a scene, and several scenes create sequence, and several sequences create a complete film. Let us examine it, and I'll take the example of a well-known film, Sholay, and I'm taking a very popular scene of that film. And filmmaking is always written in present tense, active voice. The scene where the train is coming towards the platform, the camera takes the position where at the platform, and the train is coming towards the camera, and you'll see that as the train come closer to the camera, the size of the train appears bigger, and at a time you'll see that the image is larger than life. Larger than life simply means that even camera, the full frame is not able to fill the photographs of the train. So cam the train which was visible very small, when it comes towards the camera, and camera is stationary, camera is not moving, camera is stationary. In this particular shot, camera is stationary and placed at eye level, and the train is simply coming towards the camera, towards the camera. And you'll find that when train comes closer to camera, camera pans. In this particular shot, camera is panning with the train moving from left to right. So when the camera was stationary at base, the train was coming towards camera, and as the train comes close to camera, we see that camera pans and gives us a sense of complete train, and the camera stops at a particular compartment. Till now the camera is stationary, and we see that a bag is coming out of that. Somebody throws a bag, and we see that bag coming out and falls on the platform. And then we see two gentlemen. One is tall Another one is not that tall, but medium height, well built. Though we, as an audience, we know that the tall guy is Amitabh Bachchan and the medium height, well built guy is Dharmendra. But for an audience who is not aware about their identity, they are not character, they are agent. Somebody who is not aware about Amitabh Bachchan and Dharmendra, for them they are agent. For them they are two characters. So identity is not revealed yet. And as they move towards the exit, the scene ends and next scene starts. So this scene is basically about train coming towards the platform, camera taking a stationary position, and then camera panning, stops at a compartment, then captures the arrival of protagonists and keep showing you the event from distance. So technically camera was distant observer of the event and telling you about the event from a particular perspective. That is called distant camera as a distant observer. So that is objective camera position. And this scene starts with what? Fade in. So the three constants that we are talking about of a script, of filmmaking. The first constant is scene headings. Now, what all will go in scene heading? You will start with fade in, scene 1, and then interior or exterior. Where that event is taking place, you must highlight it. Whether the scene is taking place outside the studio or inside the studio or at somebody's place. So here the location is exterior, platform. Then time, that is also important, night or day. Broadly we can classify or keep time in night and day, but if we want to be more specific about time, then we can mention the actual time, maybe afternoon, noon, evening. Then the location is mentioned here. So from three constant, the constant number 1 is scene headings, and scene heading contains starting with, and this will be left aligned. When you are writing on a page, the scene heading or the writing style of your script is that you'll keep your content left aligned. So left side of the page, you'll write scene 1, fade in, then scene headings. In scene headings, you'll write int or /ext, whatever it is, interior or exterior, day, night, so time you'll mention, location you'll mention. Then second is description. So scene heading, the first thing is interior exterior. So we know that where that event is occurring. Second thing is time, what time basically that action is occurring. Then location, where that action is taking place. Then next is description. This is very important part of script writing. Description is required to describe about the event which is taking place. So we can simply write that a train which is visible coming towards the platform, and camera takes stationary position, and train comes towards the camera pans and stops at a compartment. Two gentlemen, one tall, another one medium height, well built, come out of the compartment and go towards exit. So this is what happened in this particular scene. We're not writing Amitabh Bachchan or Dharmendra, but about description. So one is tall, another one is medium height, well built. We can describe the kind of attire that they are wearing. So it will indicate to the other departments of filmmaking that what they require at the time of the shooting. So scene one fade out here and fades in, another scene fades in, where we see they meet Basanti, Hema Malini, and then they started their journey to their destination. So from shot by shot, scene by scene, we make film. Then there is another question which generally comes in the mind of the students, that what determines the duration of a shot? How long a shot can be? Or can we keep a shot for say 10-second duration, 20-second duration, 30-second duration, or 1 hour, maybe 10 minutes? We can make a film in one shot. The content basically decides the duration of the shot. Content is important, and it decides about the duration of shot. If we again analyze the scene that we described here, the scene from a very popular film Sholay, which we described here, you'll find that the shot of train coming towards the camera, where camera has taken a stationary position, camera pans, so still shot one shot. If you are panning, doesn't mean that this is another shot. There is no cut. So two shots are basically joined by a cut. So in this particular shot, when train is coming towards the camera and you move your camera, pan your camera right or left, or you start tracking the train, it is still part of the same shot. Still part of the same shot. So panning, tracking, zooming are part of same, shot. When you cut from one action to another, then shot changes. So here the shot is very long. Why? Because you are tracking the movement of the train. The train is coming, so you will give visible time to create impact that yes, the train is coming towards the platform, and then train goes and you track or pan the camera, then camera again stand still. Now zoom in and focused on the train, and when the gentleman Amitabh Bachchan and Dharmendra come out of the train, still a single shot. But in between you see that they throw bag also. So that bag is another shot. That bag is another shot. What I'm just narrating is simply understanding the art and craft of script writing. Visualizing how we can visualize a film, how we can write a film. We all have ideas, but unfortunately, we do not have the idea to convert our thoughts into a workable film script. And when we convert our film script, like we suppose we are a storyteller and we tell a story through audio or audio medium or audiovisual also, but we are not writing it. Script writing is something where the film visible visually, everything, every element of your cinema is visible in a script, starting from train coming towards the platform, and then every detail is provided in film script. So the moment you deliver your film script to the director will be able to identify that how many characters are there, what would be the length of the film, how much resources they require, and how they are going to, how much time it will take to finish. So the elements for today's class, the third element, coming back to the third element. In script writing, I'm again repeating it for those who joined late. Script writing is something which requires special knowledge of visual grammar. And if you do not know the visual ethics or visual grammar, then it would be very difficult for you to write a cinema or write a film. Film script is where the visual elements of cinema described in such a way that simply by reading it, the audience can visualize the film. And when you are writing your film, see that until and unless you visualize that scene, don't stop writing. When you feel that you can see what is happening in the screen, then your writing is complete. When you when you can yourself visualize the scene, every small element of your scene, then your writing is up to the mark. Starting from scene heading, so script writing will have, as I said and mentioned earlier, that scene headings. In scene headings, we generally write about, first we start with scene one, fade in, then scene headings. In scene headings, we have interior or exterior, location, time, and actual, time. Then the description. Description, you'll describe what basically will occur in that particular scene. Then the third is the important one, characters. How many characters are basically involved in that scene? In this particular scene that we described here, Sholay, two characters were there. One is Dharmendra, another one is Amitabh Bachchan. There is hardly any dialogue. But the next scene where we have Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmendra, and Basanti, there are many, conversation. The conversation between Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmendra, and Basanti. So the next scene is very engaging, where Basanti is speaking continuously, and both, particularly Dharmendra, involved in that discussion, and Amitabh Bachchan enjoying. So the scene is described in such a way that you can still visualize. I have seen this film way back. Still, I have each and every element of that film visually. That's why I'm able to narrate it visually. And the dialogues like "Tumhara naam kya hai Basante?" So it's again an engaging one. The dialogue is the most important part of filmmaking. इस थप्पड़ की गूंज तुम्हें सुनाई देगी, तो हम डॉक्टर डैंग को याद करते हैं। मुगैम्बो खुश हुआ, अमरीश पुरी की याद आती है। तेरा क्या होगा कालिया, अमजद खान। इस तरह के डायलॉग होते हैं फिल्म में, जो हमें याद रह जाते हैं। और सफलतम फिल्म वही होती है, सक्सेसफुल ones, which after seeing it, when we come out of the theater, we either sing the song or repeats the dialogue. हम जब सिनेमा देख के बाहर आते हैं, और बाहर आते हुए जब तक है जहां जाने जहां मैं नाचूंगी, या तेरा क्या होगा कालिया, गब्बर, बसंती, इन कुत्तों के सामने मत नाचना, जाने कितने ऐसे मूवमेंट्स हैं, डायलॉग्स हैं जो हमें याद रहते हैं। हमें उसके राइटर सलीम जावेद की याद आती है। फिल्म मेकिंग में स्क्रिप्ट का बहुत ही अहम रोल है। अगर ये फिल्म मेकिंग की पहली सीढ़ी है, जहां पे हम किसी भी तरीके से हम कुछ भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, वी कैन क्रिएट एनीथिंग। The film script writer is somebody who basically creates a character, gives him or her a larger than life image, and kills him or her at the time when he is very, very popular, या फिर उसे जिंदा कर देता है। और दर्शक ये पसंद करते हैं। एक फिल्म राइटर के रूप में आपके पास विजुअलाइजेशन, कमांड, इधर हिंदी, अंग्रेजी, बांग्ला, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, whichever language you feel like you are comfortable with, use that language and write in the language where you have complete command. उसी भाषा में लिखिए, बात करिए, बोलिए, where you feel that yes, I have complete command. हाँ, मेरी या मेरा इस भाषा पर पूरी तरह से नियंत्रण है। मैं जो लिख रहा हूँ, मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ, मैं जो कह रहा हूँ, उसमें हमारे विचार भाव बनकर निकल रहे हैं। आत्मा आपकी दिखाई देनी चाहिए। Film making where we simply go by production process, pre-production, production, and post-production. Script writing is part of pre-production, where you got an idea. अब कई बार बच्चे पूछते हैं कि सर आइडिया कैसे, क्या आइडिया इंजेक्शन लगाने से थोड़ी आएगा, या हम अभी कोरोना वैक्सीन लगवा रहे हैं, हम ऐसी कोई वैक्सीन जनरेट कर दें जिसमें लगाएं और आइडिया आ जाए, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। आइडिया जनरेशन के लिए, आइडिया के लिए कि किस पर फिल्म बनाई जाए, क्या सब्जेक्ट हो, फॉर दैट वी नीड एक्सटेंसिव रीडिंग, be it local literature, whatever it, कुछ भी हो पढ़िए, चाहे वो आपका स्थानीय हो, चाहे देश का पूरा इतिहास हो या फिर घटनाएं हो, विदेश में हो, कहीं भी हो, आपको अखबार की एक घटना आपके फिल्म की कहानी दे सकती है। जैसे कि न्यूटन को प्रकृति ने नियम दिए, जाने कितने लोगों ने सेब को गिरते हुए देखा था, लेकिन कितने लोगों ने न्यूटन की तरह उसको फॉलो किया। What do you need? You just need eyes which can observe things minutely. What do you need? You simply need observational skills. आपके इर्द गिर्द क्या हो रहा है, आप देखिए। पत्रकार उसको किस तरह से देखता है। अभी घटनाएं चल रही है, आप देखेंगे कि किसान आंदोलन चल रहा है, और इसी किसान आंदोलन पे आपको सैकड़ों फिल्म अब मिल जाएंगी आने वाले समय में। लेकिन क्या आप सोच पा रहे हैं, इस किसान आंदोलन पे हम एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री बना सकते हैं? क्या इस किसान आंदोलन पे हम एक फिल्म बना सकते हैं? जो पहले सोचेगा वो फायदे में होगा, लेकिन उस सोच तक जाने के लिए हमें पढ़ना पड़ेगा। वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए हमें लगातार देखना पड़ेगा। फिल्म या फिल्म मेकिंग कोई ऐसा काम नहीं है which you can earn in one day. No, this is not like your wage that you worked hard and you got 1,000 rupees. No. Filmmaking, a production of a film requires systematic development of an idea, which requires skill which you have acquired over a period of time. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप बड़ी आसानी से आज आपने सोचा कि हम फिल्म बनाना चाहते हैं और कल को फिल्म बना दी। फिल्म निर्माण में इस समय असीम संभावना है। हम स्क्रिप्ट की बात कर रहे हैं, स्क्रिप्ट के एक एक पार्ट पे हम चर्चा करेंगे। हमारी चर्चा चलती रहेगी, करीब 1 घंटे की चर्चा हो चुकी है, and I'll definitely announce before interacting with you all, and I know that a few of my students are watching it also. So good evening, Nilu and Ankit Dikshit. आप लोग देख रहे हैं, अच्छी बात है, पर हमें ये सोचना होगा कि किस तरह से हम फिल्म और फिल्म मूवमेंट को आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश में कैसे आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं। हमें ये भी सोचने की जरूरत है कि उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार के पास हम क्या लिखें। आज आपने फिल्म पे पीएचडी कर ली, लेकिन फिल्म पे पीएचडी करने के बाद आपके सामने क्या संभावनाएं हैं। व्हेन यू से दैट आई एम अ पीएचडी इन फिल्म्स, नाउ व्हाट, अब क्या करें हम। हमने पीएचडी तो कर ली, कहाँ जाए अपना ज्ञान लेकर। द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट we do not have outlets where we can sell our knowledge. So if the outlets are not there, then we need to develop it. अब नहीं है institutions, then we we should definitely ask for it. And whom to ask? The government, Uttar Pradesh government. Start writing, start constructive communication. That Yogi ji, if you want a film industry, a successful one in UP, then you need point-wise mention that what the government of Uttar Pradesh requires in order to establish a film industry here. So this is your job. तभी उत्तर प्रदेश में फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के निर्माण का सपना साकार हो पाएगा। और वो सारे लोग जो इससे जुड़े हुए हैं, चाहे वो पत्रकार हो, चाहे वो फिल्मकार हो, चाहे वो कलाकार हो, अगर वो अपना भविष्य सुरक्षित देखना चाहते हैं, इस विधा को उत्तर प्रदेश में आगे बढ़ते देखना चाहते हैं, तो उन्हें एक कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म पे आना पड़ेगा, बात करनी पड़ेगी, सरकार को बताना पड़ेगा कि देखिए योजनाएं बनाने से ही सब कुछ नहीं होता, उसके आगे भी हमें जाना पड़ेगा। तो इसी के साथ आज शाम के लिए आपसे विदा लेते हैं, फिर मिलेंगे, आपको बताएंगे कि फिर किस विषय पे इसी फिल्म को आगे बढ़ाते हैं, फिल्म मूवमेंट को आगे बढ़ाते हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश में जब तक फिल्म एंड टेलीविजन इंस्टीट्यूट का एक सेंटर न खोल दिया जाए, हम अपने लोक कलाओं को बचाने के लिए, जब तक लोक कलाओं के लिए हम आर्काइव्स न खोल दें, तब तक एकजुट रहिए, बोलते रहिए, सरकार को बताते रहिए कि उत्तर प्रदेश को श्रेष्ठ प्रदेश बनाने के लिए क्या क्या करने की जरूरत है। धन्यवाद।